Welcome to our second video in the three-part series looking at the post-COVID consumer. I'm Jessica Lively, Marketing Coordinator here at SenSource, and today I'm joined by Dan Aloise, our General Manager, and Jeremy Forsyth, our Director of Software Engineering. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Look back 12 months ago. Hardly anything looks the same as it did then. The way we work, the way we learn, the way we celebrate. The pandemic has altered shopping habits too, and some of these changes might be permanent. The post-COVID consumer, someone worth counting.
Back in March of 2020, we were like most businesses where we were slightly panicked about the shutdowns and really not knowing what the future held because of the pandemic. I remember thinking that the COVID scare and the shutdowns were going to last maybe a week, and then 1 week turned into 2 weeks, and then months, and here we are a year down the road, and we're still not completely back to normal. It's interesting to look back over this year and see how much has changed. Even our vocabulary has changed. We use words like social distancing, which we never used before a year ago. And the need for social distancing has played a big part in business operations, in the fact that retailers and a lot of businesses have had to limit their occupancy to ensure that people are staying 6 feet apart. And Dan, you work closely with our sales department. You really see most every opportunity that comes to SenSource. So, how would you say that the pandemic has affected the industries that we serve?
Sure. Yeah, so I think the first thing that we noticed when the pandemic hit was we did see interest from industries that never really had interest in automatic people counting. Our system kind of pivoted from more of just a business operations, kind of a historical reporting tool to a safety system. So that kind of unlocked a lot of markets that required or really had a hard time determining how busy or what was their occupancy, maybe because there was multiple doors, maybe just a big area, maybe a closed off area that they couldn't monitor the occupancy, and that's where our system kind of came into play.
Great, that's right. And grocery stores, they weren't a typical customer of ours, but because of the need to track occupancy, that led them to SenSource.
Yeah.
And then Jeremy, can you explain how we reacted? What's the story there of how SenSource reacted to this need for real-time data?
One benefit of the way we structured the company and our department is our ability to quickly jump in and make novel solutions to these problems. We rapidly designed and implemented our safe space real-time occupancy system within the space of a couple weeks. If you know about software development, that's breakneck speed for a system of that scale. This included smart TV apps so that we could show the data to the end customer for the first time, as well as mobile apps to get that data into the hands of managers so they can make decisions about safety and the health of their customers in real time.
And they were forward thinking as well of just the, what's next, because what's next and what do we need to develop next that our customers are going to need? Because not only was this a new product for us, it was a new problem that we were solving for our customers as well, with the pandemic being new to all of us. So how did we go about developing those parts for our customers?
So we taken data from the sensor in real time with very little latency. We display that on the televisions and also on the mobile app for the managers to make instant decisions about whether to shut down the line or to let more people in.
Yeah, and all these things happened in rapid succession. I mean, we're talking days and weeks for this type of development that usually, Jeremy, is months?
Months or years. At normal corporate scale.
Right. So our product came about because of an immediate need that really essential businesses like grocery stores and pharmacies and restaurants had. And then moving forward, there's still a need for an occupancy system, and even more than that, just counting your traffic of people coming in and out of your facility. So can we just touch on again a little bit about how this data is impacting different industries?
Sure. Yeah. So, like you mentioned, the system at the safe space system that we have is at the bare bones is like a traffic control system. But what we see and what we see a need for going forward is to keep that intact. Those capacities might fluctuate as things loosen up, maybe tighten back down again. So that it's nice to have that flexibility. But there's a lot of other value that you can get out of this, really to drive customer experience. So our sensors that we use in our solution can be used not just to monitor threshold counting. They can monitor things like wait time, queue metrics. So how many lanes are open? What's the max wait time of a customer?
And I think all industries across the board realize how powerful and important that data is. And the pandemic has just sped up the process of implementing technologies. And pandemic or not, that data is not going to go out of style. Like you had probably seen in our first episode, we touched on the customer experience, right?
Yeah, so customer experience is huge going forward for retailers. It's difficult to rely on pre-COVID data to know how to change your staffing levels because of the changing behavior, different traffic patterns of customers when they're coming in your store. So it's important to have accurate current data to go on to help you with your staffing levels, using our predictive metrics to know when you're going to need to staff people, when the busy times are coming up is really important. So using this real-time data we have coming in from the safe space system going forward is going to help you deliver value to your customers long term.
Great, thank you. And Dan and Jeremy, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having us.
And thank you for joining us for our second episode in this 3-part series discussing the post-COVID consumer.